My man Czar make tracks like this.
What's going on, y'all? I want to show you the Warm Audio EQP-WA. This is a tube EQ based off of a Pultec EQ. I like to use this EQ on drums and vocals, and it's a great EQ for adding weight and character to your tracks. It's not a surgical EQ, so it's not something that I use on vocals a lot. A lot of vocals I mix, I have to carve out a lot of frequencies. Not the EQ for that, but if I'm good with all the frequency in a vocal and I need to really boost something, maybe some presence or some air, this is great for that. And we're going to quickly go over the controls. It's a two-band EQ. You got your low frequency, high frequency. The boost and cut is what allows this EQ to do something that I've only seen Pultecs do, and that's boost and cut the same frequency. So like right now I've got it set to 60 Hertz. I've got the boost at 5. If I turn the cut up to 5, now we're boosting and cutting at 60 Hertz. There's different Q values for the boost and cut, so it's not canceling out the same frequency. We're not boosting 60 Hertz at the same Q that we're cutting 60 Hertz. So it's really unique EQ. And one thing I really like about the Warm Audio EQ versus an original Pultec is this 200 Hertz. I find that great for cutting vocals, and again, this is a really broad EQ. If I just turn the cut up to 1, a lot of times that's right where I need, or really before that, even halfway up to 1 is good for cutting some mud out of vocals. And so I'm using I'm using this EQ on a drum loop on this mix. It's a drum loop that has a kick, snare, and hi-hat, and I'm boosting 60 Hertz, and I'm also boosting 3K, and for the bandwidth I have it in the middle. So the bandwidth is the Q for the high frequency. So you have boost and cut for these frequencies here, and your boost in the high end only affects the high end. The cut is going to cut these frequencies on the far right. So it's a really unique EQ and not a what I would call a conventional EQ compared to other parametric EQs. So let's take a look at how I used this on this mix. Okay, so I've got Studio One up here, and this is a mix for an artist named Rick Bills. And so, like I said, I'm using it on the drum loop. So I'm going to solo the drum loop. This top track is the drum loop unprocessed, and the bottom track, or the track below it, is the track processed with EQP with the EQ settings that you saw previously. So just a reminder what I did. I boosted 60 Hertz to bring up the kick drum, and I boosted 3K for the snare, and then you'll also notice that I cut 20K. I cut 2 at 20K, and I did that to kind of bring down some of the harshness of the hi-hats. So as I flip through these examples, pay attention to the difference between the kick, the snare, and the hi-hats. Okay, so this is the drum loop with no processing. And this is it with the EQP-WA. So a lot of weight added there for the kick and the snare. I'm going to flip between the two so you can hear the immediate difference now. Okay, so now let's keep keep the EQP. And so now I'm going to play it in the mix now so you can hear. I'm going to start with, let's go back to just the drums unprocessed. So this is the drums unprocessed in the mix.
I need diamonds in my chain, diamonds in my chain. I'm out here making moves. I need diamonds in my chain. I need diamonds in my chain, diamonds in my chain. I'm out here making moves. I need diamonds in my chain, like.
And this is the mix with the EQP-WA.
I need diamonds in my chain, diamonds in my chain. I'm out here making moves. I need diamonds in my chain. I need diamonds in my chain, diamonds in my chain. I'm out here making moves. I need diamonds in my chain, like.
So for me, just the weight that adds to this drum loop works a lot better with this track for me, which is the reason I went with it to EQ this drum loop on this mix. All right, so that's the Warm Audio EQP-WA. Any question, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time.